Hey everyone, Tesla Tom here. Thank you so much for joining us today on Ludicrous Feed. We are reviewing software update 2022.24.8 here in this day 2 of this Tesla Model Y that we are looking after for viewer Ross, who's currently overseas. You may have seen my Model Y delivery video yesterday. If you haven't, please check that out. We went over this car with a fine-tooth comb to make sure it was exactly what Ross paid for. So thank you again to viewer Ross for allowing us to keep this car for the next 6 weeks while he's away. We'll be sure to look after it for him, of course. Let's run through software update 2022.24.8 here in Sydney, Australia for this rear-wheel drive Tesla Model Y. Here we go. So Tesla profiles. We kind of went through this already in 0.6, but Tesla profiles update is fantastic because if you have, for example, if you're borrowing a car like this one, and if you have access to the app, you can add your profile to different cars that you might be borrowing, or if you're loaning out to someone else, they can add their profile via the cloud to that car, which is very handy indeed. The next thing is blind spot camera. So for example, now if I were to indicate right like that, which I shouldn't have to because I'm going straight, you saw that pop up there, and you can actually move the camera across to different parts of the screen. We'll show you when we get to an intersection, of course, later on, which is very handy. This is actually a very good quality of life improvement for this update. Traffic along the route, we'll just show you that in a second. Traffic is now bolder and clearer on the navigation route, which is super handy, and driver profile improvement as well. I might put Autopilot on for you guys through this road, Delhi Road in Sydney's north. That way you can see how well it handles at 50 kilometers an hour. Now, a couple of things I haven't seen in our Model 3, dynamic brake lights. I was just reading through this before. It says that if you are driving over 50 kilometers an hour and you suddenly brake, your brake lights will flash repeatedly so that other drivers can tell that you are about to stop. And also if your car comes to a complete stop, the hazard lights come on automatically, which is fantastic. And then this little seatbelt system enhancement, the seatbelt looks like it will tension tighter if there is a crash apparent coming up on the road. So that's a fantastic use of AI and to help keep passengers safer and the driver safer as well. All right, so we're going to keep driving along Delhi Road here in the north of Sydney and using Autopilot. Now, of course, this is not FSD or EAP enabled, so I have to stop at a red light. If you've got EAP FSD, then when you come to a red light, it'll stop for you. So just keep that in mind. If you're the second or subsequent car, then that's fine, not a problem. You can just proceed and it'll just stop behind the car as per traffic aware cruise control. All right, once we get past this intersection, we can go at 60 kilometers an hour. Double tap right stalk. Let's see how well it navigates this turn. Of course, always hands on the wheel, just in case. There's a bit of a tight bend. Let's see how well it takes this bend. Yeah, so I'm glad I had my hands on the wheel. It just broke Autopilot by itself. And see how well it navigates this turn. It's just hugging that right side of the lane a little bit. Luckily there are no cars coming. And again, always hands on the wheel there, just in case. Again, hugging that right side of the lane a little bit more than I'm comfortable with. Again, I would have had a very low threshold of disengaging Autopilot should there have been an issue. Let's see how it takes this one. Okay, not too bad. Going with the concrete barriers, I'm always a bit hesitant to let go completely. Not too bad there with the truck oncoming. Still, having said that, compare this to other cars I've driven with lane centering or auto steer capabilities. Tesla, even on basic Autopilot, is still probably the best at this function than anything else I've seen. Let's try and stick to this left lane. You see how the screen, this blind spot monitoring, can be moved into 3 locations, so that's quite handy. Let's engage Autopilot again. Double tap right stalk. Oops, sorry. There go, double tap right stalk. That grey steering wheel icon needs to be seen before you can activate it. Sorry, I didn't look at the screen before I tapped it. Okay, proceed cautiously across this intersection, no problem.
200 meters, your destination will be on the left.
Again, I'm the first car, so I will disengage. A few ways you can disengage autopilot. You can flick this right stalk up. That'll cancel both traffic aware cruise control and autopilot. If you press the brake, it'll do the same thing. It'll cancel both cruise control and autopilot. If you wiggle the steering wheel, that will cancel autopilot, auto steer, but not traffic aware cruise control. A little bit of a launch to 60. Nice. I've got it on standard mode today, not chill. So that's as fast, I guess, as it can be. I'll try and find an opportunity to do a bit of a launch if we can somewhere. Perhaps in another video, if not this one. Okay, so let's turn left here and then we can do a bit more of an autopilot test once we get onto Epping Road, which is a bit busier. So just back on the blind spot monitoring, you can move the monitor there below, up here of course, across there. If you move it and block your nav, then the next turn comes up on that top bit there. So up to you. As I said before in my previous video, update video, if you use nav often, then I think this is probably the best compromise. If you don't use nav often, then that's probably okay, right there. I feel that this is not a great location down here because the steering wheel and your hand does block part of the screen, which I'm not comfortable with. Up here is a nice compromise for sure. So Epping Road is a bit busier. Engage autopilot. Again, I'm the first car, so I will disengage. So that's, I guess, one benefit of getting EAP again if you use it often. If you don't want to keep disengaging autopilot, then it will stop at the red light for you if you have EAP or FSD enabled. Mini launch. Okay, got to 80 kilometers an hour. That's quite fun. You're going to launch like that, do it safely, of course. Got to within the speed limit. Now you can use the freeway, but I will just keep continuing along the Epping Road, which is a surface road. Oop, I'm just going to swerve there from the tree branch. Alright, so 40 roadworks, let's slow down here. So bus lane ahead, we are going to switch lanes here to the right. Okay, let's put on autopilot now. And we can use this line of cars here to make our way up Epping Road. Bit of roadworks here, so should follow. Let's see whether it reads the 40 roadwork sign. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, hasn't picked it up on this occasion. That's okay, we're kind of in a train of cars, so we should be going at 40. Picked up the 70 though. Okay, we'll just right stalk tap down for 2-3 seconds. It'll match the posted speed sign. You can touch the screen there, but I find tapping the stalk is safer. You don't have to reach around for the screen. The autopilot's also very good for kind of city traffic, slow-moving city traffic. Follows the cars ahead quite well. You can of course adjust how close you want to follow. 2 to 7 now. Number 2 is the lowest because it's now camera-based cruise control autopilot. And the top speed you can go on this camera-based system is now 140 kilometers an hour. Not that I'd ever reach that, of course. Just something to be aware of. Alright, so let's see whether it reads that 60. Sure does. Right stalk tap down again. Easy does it. And again, nice following of the car ahead. Good for city traffic. because we're not the first car at the traffic light, we don't need to worry at this stage. Of course, if the lights turn red, we will disengage quickly. And given that this is a red light speed camera pothole, not too bad. The suspension in this Y is, I think, better than our 3 anyway, Performance 3 from 2019. Let's see what happens when the car senses this car moving in. Yeah, see, it tracks that car, makes it a darker color, allows it in. That's quite a nice demonstration there. So in some way, it's less stressful if you've got just a follow function like this and auto steer. And I'm just putting my hands on the wheel because that's what the law dictates, but the car's actually driving itself. So I can just sort of rest it like that. You can see as we round this curve, you'll see that it's just following the lane markings here. There you go, see that? Beautiful. All right, I'm going to cancel, let's see how it does on this intersection. Ooh, a little bit wobbly, but not too bad. Got there in the end. Ooh, again, too close to the right side of the lane. I'm going to cancel the nav. You see how that's a bit more red, that red bold there? That shows you the traffic on the route, which is cool. I'm going to cancel that so I can go on this freeway bit. Okay, I'm going to roll up to 80 because I know the speed limit here is 80. And by the way, let me just show you. So in New South Wales, the cool thing is that T2 transit lanes and T3 transit lanes are actually exempt for electric vehicles if you've got less than the specified number of occupants in the vehicle, which is great. So the Gore Hill Freeway is T2 24 hours on the left lane, but because we're at an EV, we're allowed to be in this lane. So something to know if you are in New South Wales. Transit lanes, 24 hours, doesn't matter, we're in an EV, one occupant in this car, still legal for me to be in this lane, which is great. All right, let's put on autopilot and we'll stay in the transit lane because we can. Because we can, we might as well use the incentives that's provided to us. Thank you, New South Wales government. All right, so 80 kilometers an hour on the Gore Hill Freeway. Mini highway test for us today. Again, I think highway conditions suit autopilot so well. I've done a few road trips with the family with autopilot on, most of the time on a freeway, and it's just a dream to drive with because you actually less fatigue. You don't have to worry too much about steering the car. Just resting your hands like this, just for safety reasons. But the car is essentially steering for you. I just rest my foot kind of on the floor of on the floor near the accelerator pedal, and then if I need to react quickly, I can. But most of the time, the car is driving itself, which makes road trips far more comfortable. A few potholes there. Yes, a bit bumpy, yes, but the road conditions not great. Yeah, I've had quite a bit of rain in Sydney over the last 6 months, so some of the roads are very much pothole filled. And as you can see, I'm trying to do end-to-end drive so that you can see there was, just pretty much as is, no editing, except for speeding up some parts. But I like to do this to show you that it is a very safe drive on autopilot in the city even. Of course, one thing that this car doesn't have is auto lane change because it's not EAP FSD at present. You see how I moved the steering wheel, but traffic aware cruise control remained. But as soon as you indicate, the autopilot disengages. Auto steer function disengages. Okay, let's see how well this car merges. See that? This is my car, tracked that car going in, allowed enough room for it to come in, which is great. Again, indicate, disengaged. I go back in to this lane, re-engaged. Not too bad without the EAP function, but EAP just makes that a little bit easier if you don't mind paying 5,000 Australian dollars currently to have that function. Okay, I've got a bit of road work here. Let's see if the car reads the 60. No, it doesn't. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Let's scroll it down ourselves. Scroll wheel, right wheel to scroll down. Okay. Still roadwork 60, that's okay. They're doing some stuff over here, so we will obey the law and go at 60. All right, everyone, well, that's it from me. We're going to head off onto the North Sydney off-ramp from the Warringah Expressway. That has been software update 2022.24.8 here in the 2022 Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive. There you go. I've had 2 software updates in 24 hours since taking delivery of this car. Pretty good, eh? And they've all been free. They've all been over the air, over Wi-Fi. Very, very easy to activate and now use, which is great. Again, thanks to Viewer Ross for allowing me to test this vehicle for the next 6 weeks. We're going to have a whole bunch of Tesla Model Y content, of course. Yeah, hopefully, Ross, if you're watching, enjoy your holiday. And to everyone else, I shall see you at the next Ludicrous Feed video. And as always, happy charging.